Mark, Carlin Hill here. The Democratic Party is in a state of disrepair. Republicans have won the White House. They have a clear majority in Congress. They have a clear majority in the Senate. There are only 16 Democratic governors. The Republican Party controls the vast majority of the state legislatures in this country. The Democratic Party has become totally irrelevant in terms of governing this country. And there's no leader to step up and fill the gap, the vacancy left by President Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton still seems to be the de facto leader, the leader in exile. Is she going to run again in 2020?
Look, Hillary Clinton remains a powerful voice. I don't think she's gearing up for a 2020 run, but who knows? I think in a poll we did, the Harvard-Harris poll, there right now isn't a clear leader in the Democratic Party. Most people want to have a new leader. I think in the Democratic Party, just as we didn't know that Barack Obama was going to emerge, just as we didn't know on the Republican side that Donald Trump was going to emerge, I don't think we really know right now who is going to emerge. I think there's going to have to emerge legislative leadership here. And then in terms of political leadership, I think it's going to take a little time. Will people like Governor Cuomo suddenly emerge? Will Cory Booker come in? Will a new round of candidates really come in here to try to re-energize the party? They have a few years to do this. It does happen time and time again. Parties in America come out of the wilderness.
So you think that's who the candidates will be then in 2020, either Cory Booker or Andrew Cuomo?
You know, I wouldn't place any bets on 2020 yet.
But those are the two names you mentioned. That's why.
Right. Well, I think they're next on deck in order, I think, to prove themselves. I think they're likely potential candidates. But I think business people may get in after Donald Trump winning. I think business people didn't want to get in the past. Mark Cuban's been talking about it, but there could be a number out there who say, hey, they could do a better job with America.
Yeah, they got to focus on 2018.
Deval Patrick, he was a governor, and now he works in business. Where's Mr. Patrick been?
No.
Well, Michelle Obama did very well in the Harvard-Harris poll. She did surprisingly well as a first-round potential candidate.
She said she wouldn't do it, though, right?
The First Lady, you only needed to look at the expression on her face on Inauguration Day earlier this year to know that I don't think that she ever wants to be back in Washington in a political capacity.
I don't know, but she has potential. She has real potential, no question.
Here's why, Mark, here's why I think you're wrong that a new leader will emerge. It hasn't happened yet. Nancy Pelosi hasn't had a successful election as the leader of the Democrats in the House since 2008. And that was riding the wave of Barack Obama. And yet she's still the minority leader for the Democrats. And you still have all of these old faces that don't represent the Democratic Party, that represent an old losing dynamic in the Democratic Party, and they haven't let way to a new generation. And so I don't see it happening. Like there isn't a bench. We haven't cultivated a crowd of new young talent to step up because these old guys won't get out the way.
Well, isn't it because the left, the extreme left, is pulling any moderates all the way to the left? I mean, look what Tom Perez had to just do. He wins the chairman of the DNC, and then he has to put Keith Ellison as his deputy. Keith Ellison is dragging him all the way to the left. That's not what the people want, Mark.
No.
Oh, I think there's real concern about that. I think there is a battle for the soul of the Democratic Party. Remember, President Clinton and originally Hillary Clinton came out of the DLC and the centrist wing of the Democratic Party. Will that reemerge? I think the left is showing very strong strength, and you're seeing it, I think, in some of the ways that senators and others are acting. But I don't think that's the end. The broader the primary situation, and I hope they fix some of the primary rules and go to more primaries and fewer caucuses, and that'll give voice to the full breadth of Democratic voters.
Well, yeah, Tom Perez just cleaned house at the DNC, so we saw that. He actually sent out a memo saying, hey, all staffers, bye-bye, new blood's coming in, and I think they need to do this, especially because they've got to focus on 2018. So this talk about 2020 is nonsense. They need to figure out how they get seats back and how they try to get people in office that could lead their party forward. So I think all this talk about 2020 is a distraction, but I think Tom Perez is taking the right first step in cleaning out the DNC. What do you think? Because Donna Brazile in there leaking things, questions to Hillary Clinton to the detriment of a lot of the people in the party who wanted Bernie Sanders.
Look, they're going to have to build a new organization. What happened in the last election, obviously, I think split the party rather than united the party. Right. But I think also people are going to be looking, is the DNC going to be fair to all candidates? Will it further the process of finding a new leader? Will we wind up with just a couple of leaders who've already been there in the past? Or will fresh candidates really be encouraged to emerge here? I think typically they really do.
Well,
It is very hard to predict it this far out, but I would be surprised if any of us gets it right.
Plus,
who is the Democratic nominee?
The Democrats are so angry over Donald Trump that it may very well be that their outcome, their turnout, rather, for the 2018 election will be very, very strong because they want to defeat the Republicans and Donald Trump.
And they'll have a
So we'll see
primary
about
process that energizes them.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think it will be because they're not there representing their constituents. They're being divisive. They're being obstructionist. They're not representing. They're not holding their constituents' interests at the best heart. They're holding their grudges against this president.
The math is drawn against them. The way the districts are drawn and gerrymandered, it's almost impossible for the Democrats to win back the majority in the House at this point. And the Senate math.
Be careful. Watch your words, because if infrastructure doesn't turn out the way they want it, if tax plans doesn't turn out the way they want it, yeah, exactly. So let's be careful about that. Let's not sit on our laurels that we have both houses or both chambers as well as the presidency.
Mark, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mark Penn will be watching, obviously, an exciting moment in time. Coming